Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's cryptocurrencies update for Monday, June 6, 2022. Thank you, everyone, for your patience and your well wishes while I was on a short leave last week to recharge and reboot, so to say, after quite some tough times over the last 5 to 6 months. So please, people, bear with me, have patience, be nice, be kind. There are worse things in life than a cryptocurrency that goes down or up. What matters in life is family, friends, loved ones, pets. Everything else is secondary at best. So with that, let's have a look at the charts. I am only going to review Bitcoin and Ethereum. We'll have a look at the big boys. The rest will follow. Okay, so we have a bull versus a bear scenario. Okay, that's really where things are at. I'm going to present for both Bitcoin and Ethereum the bull versus the bear scenario, and everything else we'll cover during the rest of the week. Just really want to make things clear. Remember, 2 weeks ago, I shared with you this potential ending diagonal wave 5 of C of 4. And I already wrote, I haven't changed a thing, ending diagonal here in green may not reach the ideal downside target zone. And it appears it bottomed late May at around 28,000. Diagonals are very tricky to interpret. You need about 75% of the price data before you've realized it is a diagonal. That's just the nature of the thing. And we since rallied into almost 32,500, dropped back to about 29,500, and are now back at 30,000. So in essence, overall, the time frame that I've been gone, not too much has happened. What do we need for the bullish case? The low made on Friday should hold unless this wave 2 becomes more complex. We should break out above 32,500, which is the previous high here and the previous highs here and here in early May. If that is the case, then we can rally for a wave 3, a 4, and a 5. The path shown is that for an ideal Fibonacci-based impulse pattern. The market reserves the right to do nothing ideal, so this is just an anticipated path, which I will also show you, for example, a little bit later on how well things have tracked the anticipated path for Ethereum. The blue levels represent bearish cutoff levels. So the higher Bitcoin goes, the more likely wave 5 to 125,000 plus or minus 25,000 is underway. Okay, logically. But please remember, we now need to start seeing higher highs and higher lows. We've got the higher high, we got a higher low, and now it needs to continue so we can have a nice, clean, clear impulse pattern as shown. The ideal impulse pattern should top somewhere around 37.5 to 39.5, somewhere in this region. Why are these levels important? Because then we start breaking above previous first wave levels, and then subdivisions cannot happen anymore, meaning subdivisions of 1-2s, 1-2s, 3-4s, 3-4s to the downside. Okay, so each blue level represents bearish cutoff. The higher it goes, the more likely wave 5 is underway. And of course, if we break above this orange downtrend line, which has held the entire decline pretty much here in check, we should be on our way. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. That's what I'm looking for right now. It's a good candle today. That's the bullish cutoff. If we get this bullish cutoff, then we have step 1 completed for the next level higher, which would be the wave 3. After 3, in an impulse come 4 and 5, but it can also be an ABC. So we'll have to carefully monitor for this potential 5 waves higher. Next up is the bearish alternative. It says it loud and clear on the chart. And that is that this wave 4 has become much more complex than I originally anticipated. And this is not a ending diagonal, but a complex B wave, an A, a B, and a C, for wave B here in gray, then a C wave. For some complex, I would probably still label this as a zigzag wave 4, and then we should impulse lower for a 5 is 1, ideally to around 23,000 plus minus 1,000. In red are the cutoff levels we need to watch for bullish cutoff levels. I have it here as bearish, but there are of course bullish cutoff levels, meaning if we go below those, it becomes less and less likely that we have a bullish resolution and we go lower first. So the lower Bitcoin goes, the most likely it is that we're going to revisit this target zone. This is in black here, measured from this red. The ideal 5 is 1 relationship. So this is the length of wave 1 here in green. Okay, I'm going to take that and move it to the top of wave 4. And as you can see, that gets us right in the ideal wave 4 target zone of 23,000 plus or minus 1,000. So this is still very possible, but the bears need to break things below 29,300, as you can see here. And then they need to break it below here. Okay, so these are the subsequent steps. And then ultimately, of course, below the early to mid-May low here. Okay, so this is a alternative interpretation of the price action. Remember, Elliott Wave is an interpretation of the price action. As more price data becomes available, we can adjust this interpretation. That is the simple nature of the market. The market doesn't make it easy. So with that, it is not like, oh, Elliott Wave doesn't know anything. No, same old story. We have loud and clear if-then scenarios in place. Loud and clear, very simple. If we break above the 32,500 levels, then we have the chance for this impulse pattern. If we break below about 29,200, then 28,000, then we have the impulse pattern lower. We're still then going to look higher, rinse, lather, repeat, meaning then we have to wait for the bullish setup to happen. Very, very simple. Okay. I mean, I can't spit it out any clearer than this. So then we have the bullish alternative case for Ethereum. Okay, so Ethereum here is the anticipated path that I already painted in April. Yeah, has followed it reasonably well. As usual, the devil is in the details. Here in April, I could, of course, not know how exactly every single wave would transpire. So you do a simple anticipated path, and the daily scribbles will fill themselves in, but that goes without saying. So we were looking for lower. Of course, we get some screwing around here, so to say, up, down, up, down, up, down. We eventually figured out that's a diagonal. Again, takes 75% of the price data to figure it out. And then we get the nice impulse lower. And it looks like we could have completed wave 5 of C of 4 here at last week's low. And that would be a marginally higher low, actually, than this one. It's fine. That is then a failed fifth of a C wave, so to say, and that doesn't surprise me. So there are enough scribbles in place. So what does it take? As with Bitcoin, each blue level represents bearish cutoff levels. The higher Ethereum goes, the more likely wave 5 to about, I would say, 10,000 plus is underway. So on the first order is a break above 2,000. That is this green wave 4. Then the second order is breaking above about 2,200. Okay, about 2150, this red wave 4, etc., etc. Similarly to Bitcoin. A break above the red downtrend line at any time is already a very good sign that this wave 5 is underway. And then simply Ethereum failed to reach the 1500 plus or minus 100 ideal wave 5 of C of 4 target zone. Okay, it doesn't have to, it would be ideal, but nothing in this world is ideal. So we have some steps to go. I want to see higher highs and higher lows. So far, I haven't seen it yet in Ethereum. That's the first step, because higher highs, higher lows without any overlap is of course an impulse pattern to the upside. The bearish case is quite simple in that we are, instead of a contracting diagonal, turning it into a expanding diagonal. I was tracking a contracting diagonal, which means it's like a pyramid form, like a triangle, or this is the expanding part, which is more like a funnel. So we have technically now enough waves in place to consider 1, 2, 3, 4 complete, and now in wave 5. This thicker gray arrow shows where the ideal wave 5 of 5 of C should bottom, and this thinner one shows where 5 is 1. So that is, again, ideally perfectly around 15,000 plus or minus 100. So each red level represents the bullish cutoff, okay? So those bullish cutoff levels are very close to each other. They're kind of clustered around 1700. Why? Because then if we break below these levels, we break below last Friday's low, we break below the low here of late May as well, okay? And then again, we continue to make lower lows in what I would call a expanding ending diagonal, wave 5 of 5 of C. What I do like in these charts is we have all these indicators pointing up. MACD is up, okay. The RSI5 is up. Money flow is still not really there yet. It's okay. We don't want to have it too overbought, because once it's really overbought, only selling is left. So the same here for Bitcoin. So now we let the market decide which of those two paths it will take. The third option is, of course, that this wave 4 here in green becomes even more complex. But we'll know it if we do not break below or above these cutoff levels. Super simple. All right. That's all I am looking for right now. On Wednesday, I hopefully have a better answer to give and can cover some of these altcoins as well. But I really want to track the big boys first, because how those go, the rest will go. There are some interesting developments going on, I would say, for Cardano and Solana. I believe the latter one is, and we'll have to see how those go. But for now, focus is on these two. Okay, it's still really, really early in the game. Please remember, if you decide to go along any of this, dip a toe in the water. Okay, start small, add when things move in the right direction. Okay, those type of things. Have tight stops in place. All needs to be considered if you are so desired to catch a bottom instead of trying to ride a trend. The trend is your friend. I haven't even showed the trend is your friend charts. We'll do that on Wednesday, but the trends are still, of course, pretty much full-blown bearish, maybe now at about 80-90% bearish instead of 100%. So please keep that in mind. That's all I have for today. Watch those cutoff levels. The charts will be sent out. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Just watch those levels. When we get the breakouts, we put our bullish hats on and start tracking a potential impulse path. If we get the breakdowns, we know which levels to watch. And then finally, hopefully, we get into these ideal target zones to the downside. And then we start the whole process all over again of tracking for a potential impulse higher. Thank you so much for hanging in there. Have patience, be kind, take care, trade safe, and I'll see you all on Wednesday.